Hello friends, in that previous lecture we already discussed different types of electric motors or electric actuators. The basic function of actuator to actuate all joints of the robot or to manipulate all joints of the robot. So there are three types of actuators. First is the electric actuator, second hydraulic actuator and third pneumatic actuator. So in that electric actuator, all types of motors act as the actuator. The basic function of actuator to actuate all joints means actuator act as a muscles of the robot. So in that first type of electric actuator, DC motor. Okay, we will take simply review of DC motor. In previous lecture, we already covered DC motor. Okay, so we will take simple review of DC motor. Okay, this animation shows exactly working principle of DC motor. So in that DC motor, okay, so working principle of DC motor, whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in magnetic field, it experiences mechanical force, okay, and which collectively produce driving torque. Okay, that's why rotor rotates. Okay, means construction of DC generator is similar to DC motor. Okay, so in that today's lecture we are going to discuss next type of motor, stepper motor. So in that stepper motor is the DC motor that moves in discrete step. Okay, so they have multiple coils that are organized in group called as phases or phase. By energizing each phase in the sequence, the motor will be rotate one step at a time. Okay, means stepper motor discrete position device that moves one step at a time for each input. Okay, this is the specification of or special characteristics of stepper motor. Okay, stepper motor moves one step at a time for each input. Okay, so in that construction of stepper motor, this figure shows construction of permanent magnet stepper motor. So it consists of one permanent magnet disc with two coils. Okay, then rotor shaft coming out of the page. Okay, this is the S pole, this is the N pole, south pole, north pole. Okay, so direction of magnetic field, this arrow shows direction of magnetic field. Then metal core used to help channel the magnetic field. So in that stepper motor, the stepper motor consists of permanent magnet or rotating shaft called as rotor and electromagnets on the stationary portion that surround the motor called as a stator at the position number 1. Okay, so this animation shows exactly working principle of stepper motor. At the position 1, we can see that the rotor is beginning at the upper electromagnet. Okay, so which is currently negative, has voltage apply on it. Okay, so at the one position or position number 1, we can see that the rotor beginnings at the upper electromagnet. Okay, so which is the currently negative place. So in another case, due to unlike polarity, the rotor magnets get alternate towards the stator magnet. That's why at the regular interval, the voltage at different stages of the stator is applied, which causes rotor to rotate by discrete angle. Okay, means this figure or this figure shows different steps 1 2 3 4. Okay, so 1 to 4 represent the different stages of the stepper motor and cycle repeat. Okay, so this is the simply working of stepper motor. Okay, means as the current or pulses to each of the coil mounted on the rotor or mounted on the coil becomes charged electromagnetically. Okay, so this is the simply construction and working of stepper motor. So stepper motor having different advantages and disadvantages. So in that first advantages, the rotation angle of the motor is proportional to the input pulse. Okay, means rotation angle of the motor is proportional to input pulse. This is the important advantages of stepper motor. Then second, full torque at standstill. Okay, if the winding are energized, the stepper motor has full torque at standstill. Then third, precise positioning and repeatability of movement, since good stepper motor have an accuracy 3 to 5% of each step. Means exactly accuracy of stepper motor having or movement, seen good step motors having 3 to 5% of each step. Okay, then fourth advantage, the excellent response to starting, stopping and reversing as compared to other motors. Okay, as compared to other motors, excellent response to starting, stopping and reversing. Then fifth, very reliable, since there are no contact brushes in the motor. Okay, means stepper motor having or due to not presence of brushes or contact brushes, they are very reliable. Okay, so therefore the life of the motor is simply depend on life of the bearing. Okay, means bearing life increases, that's why all maintenance charge, okay, decreases. The motor responds to digital input pulses, providing open loop control. Okay, means making the motor simpler and less costly to control. The next, it is impossible to achieve very low speed synchronization. Okay, so this is very important advantages. Very low speed synchronous rotation with a load. Okay, that is directly coupled to the shaft. Okay, means it is impossible, or sorry, it is the possible to achieve very low speed synchronous rotation with load, that is directly coupled to shaft. Okay, and last, the wide range of rotational speed. Okay, wide range of rotational speed can be realized as the speed proportional to the frequency of input pulses. So stepper motor having wide range of rotational speed. Then another point is the disadvantages of stepper motor. So first disadvantage, resonance can occur if properly controlled. Okay, means some resonance can occur if not properly controlled. Okay, then second, not easy to operate at extremely high speed. These are the two disadvantages. First disadvantage is resonance. Okay, so if not properly controlled, means stepper motor is not properly controlled, then resonance can occur. So these are the two disadvantages and eight advantages of stepper motor. Okay, and this animation shows exactly working principle of stepper motor. Okay, means stepper motor is the DC motor that moves in discrete step. They have multiple coils that are organized in group of or in organized in groups called as phases. Okay, these are the four phases. By energizing each phase in sequence, the motor will be rotate one step at a time. This is the one more important characteristics of stepper motor. Okay, means stepper motor moves one step at a time for each input. So these are the four steps. Okay, now this animation shows exactly working principle of stepper motor. Okay, means stepper motor is the DC motor that moves the discrete steps. They have multiple coils, okay, that are organized in group of or organized in groups called as phases. Okay, four phase. By energizing each phase in sequence, the motor will be rotate one step at a time. And this is the diagram or figure shows the construction detail of permanent magnet stepper motor. Okay, means the stepper motor discrete position device moves one step at a time for each input. And these are the advantages and disadvantages of stepper motor.